Now in this video, I'm going to share with you the most powerful technique that I've ever found for increasing intention and how when we do this, we actually accelerate the process of attracting what we want and we make it something that's much more probable. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a powerful technique that we can use to amplify the intentions that we have towards attracting what we want. Now this is a technique that I've used. This is a technique that I read in a book called Peak, which is all about understanding how we can have peak performance in what we're doing, how we can really become the best version of ourselves. It kind of shows a new process for the whole 10,000 hour rule, the idea that if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you become a master at it. In reality, it's if we do 10,000 hours and we always have the intention of improving, of having what's called a strong mental representation of what we're trying to do, and how when we do that over time, we get better and better. So it could actually be less than 10,000 hours if we go about it with the right practice. Now in the same way, this is going to use a technique from that book so that you can apply it in your own life towards really getting what you want and understanding how this correlates with the law of attraction process. Now realize that for the law of attraction process, the important parts of it are the emotion that we feel towards our desire, the action that we're taking towards our desire, the thoughts that we're having towards our desire, how our beliefs are creating our reality. Now an easy way to amplify all of these is to simply have an intention for an outcome, have a mental picture in our mind of what we want to experience, and to have this outcome be something that we're constantly working towards, something that we're constantly starting to become more of because we're more focused on it. So it's the idea that sometimes we might be focused on not necessarily what we do want, but sometimes we get focused on what we don't want. Now, this could mean, and the best analogy I heard for this is that somebody that is a leading golfer was talking about how and what the process is for becoming an amazing golfer. And he says it's 90% mental and 10% skill, or 10%, not just skill, but 10% of the physical part of it. And what he means is every time that he goes to hit the ball, he's not so much focused on all the little details as he's focused on the outcome of where he wants the ball to go, what kind of technique that he wants, and as he has that outcome, that makes it so he moves towards it in a much more powerful way. Now, this is something that they've shown a lot when it comes to sports, is when they're focused, whatever you focus on, you move towards. So if you are, for example, maybe a NASCAR driver, and if you are driving around the track, the idea is that if you start to skid off and you're focused on a pillar or you're focused on the side of a wall, if your eyes go there, they'll tell you that that's where your body will follow. Now in the same way, wherever your mental picture is in your mind goes, is where your body will follow and is where your intentions will follow. So be focused on the exact picture of what you want to experience. And not even just the picture, but focus on who you would have to become to have the kind of experiences that you want. And as you do this, you set yourself up for success. Now I do this by always having an intention before I come into these videos. I have an intention to create an awesome piece of content that reaches thousands of people, that people can really feel like they got value from. That's my intention before I go into every single video. And because of that, it's like my body just naturally follows it. It's like I naturally kind of fall into a flow state. I don't have to think very much because, I create like 2 or 3 videos a day. And that would normally be something hard to do, but I believe because I have such a strong mental representation of why I do what I do, and because I pattern my body into doing this every single day no matter what, it makes it easier and easier for me to do it. So have a powerful intention, have a powerful why, and then underneath that why, give yourself a powerful reason why you're doing it in the sense of a larger vision. Maybe it's to add value to other people. Maybe it's because it's just a part of who you are. Whatever it is, be consciously aware of what that is. Now another part I want to talk about with this is something called segment intending, which is something I've talked about a lot. I've been doing it more and more recently and I just get amazing results with it, so I wanted to share it with you. And it's a book that I actually got from The Law of Attraction by Abraham Hicks, or Esther Hicks, but channeled by Abraham. And it's all about understanding how when what we do is before we go into any little segment of our day, a segment could be you are going to get in your car and go drive. A segment could be you're going to go prepare your lunch. A segment could be you're going to go brush your teeth and take a shower. All of these things are segments. And what we can start to pattern ourselves to do is to have a powerful intention, before we go into each one. Before you get into your car, have an intention to drive safely to the next place, for you to just flow in traffic very smoothly. Have an intention when you're creating your lunch that it's going to be something healthy. You're going to create it with good energy. You're going to feel good about doing it. You're going to feel good while you're eating it. If you have the intention of cleaning the house, everything's going to go smooth. Everything's going to happen the right way. You're going to get everything clean. You'll feel good about it afterwards. All of these things are little mini segments of our day. And if we have intention as we go into it, we start to pattern ourselves for having that kind of intention, and it becomes something that's very powerful for us. So the idea is to have a strong mental representation of what that is, and to set these little intentions throughout the day. Now the funny thing is that the more you do this, the easier it becomes. It gets to the point to where eventually you just naturally, subconsciously, on autopilot, have the intentions before you go into certain things. You know, sometimes as I get into my car, I'm naturally just thinking about driving safe and going through traffic in a very smooth way. And it happens very smooth because I've patterned myself through repetition to have this kind of perspective. Now, what you can do is also have the same perspective, have the same kind of way you go about it before you go into certain parts of your day. Now, another tip I want to suggest with you, or really encourage you to use, is have something where you have an intention to do something and possibly think about how things could happen in a different way and kind of pattern yourself towards getting back on track. Now, this happens anytime we have a habit. Maybe we're like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. Now, imagine have that intention and the outcome of eating healthy and of making those right food choices. But imagine what you would do if you were at a restaurant and a friend asked you and said, hey, let's get the cheesecake, or hey, let's get that, or hey, let's get this. What you do is you look at yourself and you think, well, what would I do in that situation? And you see yourself saying, you know what, I'm actually going to get this, or actually I may not even go out and go to that restaurant. Maybe I'm just going to stay home and eat something healthy. The idea is that you start to pattern yourself of what you would do if. What you would do if, and then you start to set yourself a trigger so that you are able to fall back into place. Now this is powerful for understanding intention, because with intention, every choice we make is adding onto a certain type of experience, onto a certain kind of outcome. And if we align our choices to that outcome, we are much more likely to experience. So this is all about understanding focus, how powerful it is. Remember, at the same time, our subconscious mind runs over 90% of our life. So what we must do is take conscious control of what our repetition is. So make those choices. Understand that we must align our beliefs to who we prefer to be. And that's something I created. If you push the link below, that is a free meditation hypnosis that you can listen to right before you go to bed. You can listen to it throughout your day. It's something that you can use to really tap into the feeling of how you prefer to be. It's something that changed my life. You know, I listen to it every day, and it's something that I believe and give a lot of credit to, because I've repatterned my thoughts to really become the kind of person I prefer. So remember, all you have to do is have a strong mental representation of how you prefer to be. As you have this mental representation, you'll start to see things differently. You'll start to move towards things in a very powerful way. Set yourself these little triggers towards remembering that you can, what if this happens, how will I act? And you start to repattern yourself towards going on the direction that you want. Set little segment intentions throughout your day. As you get into your car, as you're making your lunch, as you're going to work, as you're going throughout your day, set these little intentions, and over time they will build up and it will become easier to do. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also hit that little notification gear so that you're able to see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.